Welcome! In this tutorial, we'll show you how to create an Alibaba Cloud Container Service cluster. This is a prerequisite step towards running Alibaba Cloud's container service for managing Docker Swarm environments. Before we can install a suite of running Docker containers with Alibaba Cloud's container service, we need to have an Alibaba Cloud Container Service Docker Swarm cluster ready and available for implementing our containerized systems. This tutorial explains the preliminary step of building out such a cluster. Our following tutorial will show you how to implement Docker images on the Docker Swarm cluster with Alibaba Cloud's container service. Let's get started. First, head over to the Products page and click Container Service. You will arrive at the Container Service console page. Make sure the Container Service Swarm option is selected before clicking Create Cluster. Give your cluster a unique name and pick your region and zone. Check the cluster's VPC details and the initial CIDR Block range of IPs. You can add existing ECS instances to the cluster or create new ones. Let's create 4 small instances for the cluster in this tutorial. You can add extra data storage as required, but each ECS instance comes with a minimum of storage. You can choose between Ubuntu or Centos for operating systems. You can set a key pair for secure access or set the root password for accessing the instances as required. We'll keep the public IP addresses configured by leaving the option unchecked and install the Cloud Monitoring plugin on the instances too. The cluster is set to automatically create a server load balancer. You can select previously set up Relation Database Service RDS instances on the cluster if required. The cluster creation process gives you a security group set for the relevant protocol types on the virtual private cloud. When you are happy with the configuration details, click Create at the top of the page. Once you have clicked Create, you will see a page summarizing the cluster configuration details and asking for your confirmation. When you are satisfied that the cluster configuration is appropriate for your needs, click OK. The request is submitted. You will see a report log while the cluster is being created. If you notice a warning that you have not yet activated a service you may need, go ahead and do so. Click Back to Cluster List. Click through to Nodes and you will see a list of the ECS instances that make up the cluster, including their public and private IP addresses, their statuses, and more configuration information. Now, when you click through to Overview, you will see a graphical representation of the cluster. The application, service, and container sections in our example list information on the default build system applications and services, as well as the 7 containers included automatically per instance. We are now ready to set up a Docker Swarm containerized system on the Alibaba Cloud Container Service cluster we have just created. Be sure to watch the next tutorial in the series to learn how to do that. Thanks for watching.